I don't get invited to parties. I don't have any friends. I have a dog.
I feel bad for that dog. I feel bad for that dog. Can we get CPS to check on a dog? Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make society worse.
With the oversight
you just
committee.
said you backed the blue. The police quote you in this report as you calling them effing idiots and effing incompetent, while stating that you're an effing representative and telling a TSA supervisor, I'm sick of your shit. I'm tired of having to wait. I should not have to wait. You guys are always effing late, and this is effing ridiculous.
You know, the kinds of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates.
You're quoting a document that was in part falsified. They say a lot of things, and the video doesn't show that. There's no audio. I asked for all the body cam footage and the audio. They also state in the report that there was an incident at the gate. The video shows nothing that didn't happen. And so for me, it's important that we tell the truth. And I've taken responsibility. Yes, I was absolutely 100% frustrated.
But did you say those things that that I just read?
No, I did not. I mean, I definitely...
So you're saying the police officers are lying?
No, I'm saying that is in part false.
So you guys probably remember that video I made about Mike Johnson and the Republican exodus from Congress? They got Mike Johnson! Democrats claim Speaker Mike Johnson among slew of top Republicans expected to retire following epic rift with Trump over Epstein files. What? Not Mike Johnson? You mean this Mike Johnson? Reminder that Mike Johnson named a law school he was dean of after Predator Paul Pressler got his job because of Matt Gaetz and is now committed to protecting Donald Trump. This is not his first time at this rodeo. That's right. He did get his job because of the whole Matt Gaetz situation with Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, that's right. Wow. Mike Johnson, I wouldn't have expected this out of you. You want to spend more time with your family? No? You don't rock with your family like that?
Mike Johnson's my cousin, and if it makes you feel any better, my family thinks he's a little weasel too.
That's the Mike Johnson I know. That's definitely the Mike Johnson I know. Yeah, I can hear the familiarity.
When Mike went to college, he came back and he was really, really into ministry. For instance, he made me and my friends feel really bad about the fact that we were dating people, guys, girls, whatever. And Mike would say, you should come preach with me down at the truck stop. And apparently Mike was kind enough to go and minister with truckers in their cabins, their trucks. Every night he'd bring the Bible and he'd help those men find some comfort on the road in Christ.
Did you say truckers at the truck stop? In the cab? Nah, I'm not asking no more questions about that.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Well, one of the things I mentioned was that Democrats have constructed a whole bingo board for who would be the next to leave. And as y'all know, I put my money on Nancy Mace. Well,
I'm not retiring. I have no interest in retiring. Am I absolutely frustrated with Congress? 100% yes.
I knew bingo was a scam. I knew bingo was a scam. No, because my granny told me bingo was a scam because I used to go down and visit her and I'd be like, hey, granny, why don't we go play bingo? And she'd be like, nah, because they be skimming off the top. I'm going to just put my money on shuffleboard. She would never mess with the bingo. And now I see why. Now I see why, Nancy Mace? Why? We was having so much fun. Why would you not leave Congress?
Oh, I'm not part of the powerful. I'm not part of the elite. I'm an island of one. I don't get invited to parties. I don't have any friends. I have a dog.
I feel bad for that dog. I feel bad for that dog. Can we get CPS to check on a dog? Can we? So my understanding, you don't want to leave Congress because you ain't got no friends to go home. That's the only way that you have some significance and esteem in your life. So that's what it's come to. It's either a retirement home or rent-a-buddy. The U.S. Congress. And it's no shock, honestly, Nancy Mace. We not surprised, you know what I mean? Because you don't know how to talk to people, you know what I mean? You meet somebody and you think you got a real connection and you say, we can take it outside.
She gonna keep saying trans, so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I'm 47 years
emails
old. I have broken more glass ceilings than you ever
Chairman,
will.
I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
And that's just the women. Don't get me started on the men because, as I understand, you are unencumbered at this particular point in time. But should somebody try and holler, you want to air them out in front of the whole country.
I would like to also enter into the record a screenshot of a text message I received from the esteemed professor from Vanderbilt, Michael Eric Dyson, after my CNN interview, begged me for photos. In this text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, shh, don't tell anybody, we look good together, and sent me a kissy emoji.
Without objection.
Then the guy says I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you got to hold it to both sides, not just one or the other.
I mean, there's so many clips that we can use, Nancy Mace, whether you wilding out at the airport or at a store. The only thing that shocks me is when you appear in public with regular clothes, because we got words for people who go out in public in their pajamas.
Made it. What time is it? 9 o'clock? 8:45? 8:52. We made it. Hour to go till the vote.
So it's no shock to anybody that you don't have any friends. My question is, what is it that you are going to do about it? Because the problem is, Nancy Mace, you have to take Nancy Mace with you wherever you go. Yeah, Nancy, it's a mystery to us why you have no friends. That poor dog. That poor dog. Because that dog know exactly what this looks like. She has no idea. She has no idea, but that dog knows exactly what this looks like. A much higher level of awareness than you, Nancy Mace. Breaking news. Nancy Mace responds to charges of shoplifting cheap mall jewelry by asking, what cheap mall jewelry? That's the level of awareness. That is exactly the level of awareness we're talking about. Meanwhile, we all can see you. See, the problem, Nancy Mace, regardless of whether we have a new Congress, you move to a new city, new state, don't matter. You have to take Nancy Mace with you wherever you go.
Every time in Congress, we would vote on a bipartisan basis who was the least ethical, who was the least respected. It was always a tie between Swalwell and Nancy Mace. And I just don't see these people leading anywhere.
Oh my gosh, you hate Nancy Mace. You hate
No, I don't. I want her to get the help she needs. I just don't want to put her in a position that she makes decisions.
That is the most condescending thing you could say. I just want you to get the help that you need. That's all. I want better for you. And this was said by a man that was about to throw hands with Matt Gaetz at the RNC. This man was about to throw hands. This man, because he was going to lose, I think. There ain't many people I would pick Matt Gaetz to take, but Kevin McCarthy's maybe the one. He was going to take a nap in the middle of the RNC, and he wants you to get the help that you need. And by the way, that is not an anomaly that it's coming from the right wing. This is how they talk about and characterize your current state of mind. By the way, and don't think that the trolls and the bots and the online accounts are going to protect you either. This came from one of them. Oh, Colin Rugg, he must have been all out of racism for the day. Just in, Rep. Nancy Mace made up fake, accusations to blackmail her ex-fiance over their jointly owned homes, according to the Daily Mail. The Daily Mail says that Mace hacked into her ex, Patrick Bryant's phone the day after he broke up with her. Bryant says Mace made up accusations against him to pressure him into relinquishing their 2 jointly owned homes worth around $6 million. Bryant's new lawsuit alleges Mace installed an app on his phone to extract his data. He's accusing Mace and a friend of convincing a vulnerable young woman that Bryant and his 2 friends assaulted her at a party.
Today in my hearing, I'm going to dissect what that guy did to dozens of women hidden on a hidden camera and other devices as he recorded them with impunity, without their knowledge, without their permission, and without their consent. Patrick Bryant, I hope you're ready. I'm also going to be sharing some of the imagery that Patrick Bryant, that guy right there, took of myself and other women without our knowledge, without our permission, and without our consent.
Ooh. Wow. That is something. Well, we did see earlier with the Michael Eric Dicey thing. She knows how the phones, and she will take some stuff to Kinko's and get it copied. Like, we know she knows about all. That came from your wing. That came from your wing. All I gotta say is you better hope the news media don't. Oh, they picked that up? Ex-fiance sues Rep. Nancy Mace, claims she fabricated assault allegations. Wow. Well, this took a turn, didn't it? Wow, they really throwing everything at you to get you up out of there, honestly. And Nancy, this ain't even the left wing that's just trying to pack you up. The right wing, your own people are trying to pack you up. So again, I ask, what would be the reason for you not to leave Congress? I mean, the only use that we might have for you is to be like a Marjorie Taylor Greene type bomb in the middle of Maga. I mean, I know that's not a job that you necessarily want, but that's all we got for you right now. What's that? You'll take anything? You just need some friends? I can't promise you that, but we'll come by and check on you from time to time, change your pajamas. It depends on what dirt you got. Caitlin Collins tweets from Nancy Mace, Nancy Pelosi was a more effective House Speaker than any Republican this century. I agree with her on essentially nothing, but she understood something we don't. No majority is permanent. Republicans do the opposite. We get the majority, then become petrified of losing it. Okay, that's a start. That's a start. That's a start. You think you could flesh that out into a full article dragging your own party? That's something I could take to them. Nancy Mace, what's the point of Congress? I came to Congress 5 years ago believing I could make a difference for my constituents, for South Carolina, and for a country I love deeply. I was the first woman to graduate from the Citadel's Corps of Cadets. I don't scare easily. I got a question. Yeah, you bring that up. That might be the reason you don't have no friends, because you keep bringing that up, like you haven't progressed past that at all. Also, the whole thing about what I can do for my constituents, wasn't one of your constituents that approached you in that store, and you wowed that out? That was one of your constituents that you're trying to work for? Yeah, we're gonna have to re-edit this, but we'll see where you go. But I've learned that the system in the House promotes control by party leaders over accountability and achievement. No one can be held responsible for inaction So far, too little gets done. The obstacles to achieving almost anything are enough to make any member who came to Washington with noble intentions ask, why am I even here? Yeah. So you're asking what the point of Congress is? Why am I even here? Almost like all you are there to do is like check boxes and push the agenda of another entity that's supposed to be a co-equal branch of government. We all want to know why y'all here. The thing you're describing is 1,000% correct, but let's just call a thing a thing. I got a question. She asked, why am I even here? Apparently it's to get like TikTok followers, because that's all she just be doing a lot of stunts and appearing places in her pajamas. So that seems to be why she was here. Either that or fake fight Jasmine Crockett. The House's problems didn't start with this Congress. They've been building for decades. The current leadership has failed to reverse it and in some ways deepened it. A small number of lawmakers negotiate major legislation behind closed doors and spring it on members with little notice or opportunity for input. Oh, you mean like the big beautiful bill? You mean like that? How you had to push it through by July 4th? Nancy Mace. Come on. Who is this for? Leadership promises members their provisions will be in a bill, then strips them out in final drafts. Every must-pass bill is loaded with thousands of pages of unrelated policies presented as take it or leave it. The House has abdicated control of appropriations, which the Constitution says must originate here, to the Senate. Okay, now we got something. What your constitutional duty is, I need you to stand on that with your chest. Like you did with the Epstein files. Exactly like that. More of that. Some more of that, huh? Can I get them to stop stripping your stuff out of the... Did you put on grown-up clothes when you proposed the provisions you wanted in the bill? No. Why don't we start with day clothes? You know what I mean? We start with day clothes. They might take it more serious. For much of our history, most House business was conducted under an open rule. Any member could offer any germane amendment. Over the last 2 decades, both parties have moved to closed and structured rules in which no amendments or only hand-picked amendments are allowed votes. The House hasn't considered a single open rule since 2016. Leaders of both parties have systematically silenced rank-and-file voices. Since when now? Since when now? 2016? Silence rank-and-file voices? 2016? It's just gonna get harder if you don't want to say my name, say my name. Well, Nancy Mace, keep on talking about him. Orange, 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 say my name. You are going down a well-worn path, and it's called Marjorie Taylor Greene. But at least she had the decency to say his name.
President Trump posted yesterday that you are, quote, and I'm quoting him now, not America first or MAGA, and your, quote, new views are those of a very dumb person. That's the president of the United States speaking about you. What's your response to these latest attacks?
Well, actually, Wolf, I feel very sorry for President Trump. I genuinely do. It has to be a hard place for someone that is constantly so hateful and puts so much vitriol, name-calling, and really tells lies about people in order to try to get his way or win some kind of fight. And I think that's exactly what's wrong in America today. That's what's wrong in this toxic political environment that has ripped our country apart. And I personally think that that's poor leadership from a president. It's a very bad demeanor, and Americans are very tired of it.
And in fact, she's even more encumbered since she has announced her resignation. Oh yeah, her profile has only grown. I've heard she got 3-4 offers to run gyms in rural Georgia.
Before Congress, she ran her family's construction company, then opened up her own CrossFit gym.
Affordability is a real issue.
Rank and file lawmakers can still use discharge petitions to force action on bills leadership won't schedule. If 218 members sign one, a bill must come to the floor. We use this tool to pass a bill ordering the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. I signed another discharge petition that will force a vote on a bill to ban congressional stock trading. Nearly every colleague claims to support this policy in town halls and local papers on cable news, but when asked to sign that petition, they vanish rather than upset House leadership. Name names, Nancy Mace. Name names. Well, you ain't got no friends. So who you protecting? Hey, Nancy, make them pay for telling you to get the help you need. Would opening up the floor lead to more conservative bills passing or more bipartisan ones? The answer is it would do both. Only about 5% of the bills introduced this year have seen a floor vote. Some Republican priorities would finally get a vote. So too would common sense bipartisan measures. The point is to do more and let voters see where their representatives stand. What we have now is the worst of all worlds: little accountability, transparency, and results. Somebody say P. Hexa? I'm sorry, I thought somebody called P. Hexa. They said little accountability. But that's what we call them. Yeah, I mean, that's what we call them. So what you are advocating for is for people to have to go on the record with regards to the things that they say that they support. And I can't think of many things that would be more problematic for Maga. Nancy Mace, you are cooking. Just not with a real stove. We can't give you a real stove. You gotta do some testing first. But we'll give you the Melissa and Doug. Here's a hard truth Republicans don't want to hear. Nancy Pelosi was a more effective House Speaker than any Republican this century. I agree with her on essentially nothing, but she understood something we don't. No majority is permanent. When Democrats hold the majority, they ram through the most progressive policies they can. They deliver for the coalition that elected them while they're in power. Republicans do the opposite. We get the majority, then become petrified of losing it. We pass the most moderate policies we can pressure conservatives to accept, betraying the coalition that delivered us here. Miss Pelosi was ruthless, but she got things done. The current House is restrictive and ineffective, control with barely any results. Republican leadership seems intent on replicating her model of consolidation without her bold vision to push through the policies that won us the majority. Are you under the impression that the legislation that's been passed so far has been moderate? Because if the moves of Congress and this administration would be characterized as moderate, you wouldn't be dealing with double-digit winds blowing left, looking forward to the midterms next year. So, I don't know. This is awkward. This is like when your daddy helps you with your homework, but he never passed that class. Is this what Trump told you? Is this what Trump told you? It gets really embarrassing when you step out of the house and actually try and sell that to a regular person. Speaker Mike Johnson is better than his predecessor. Hey, is that because they told you to get the help you need? Is that because he told you to get your help you need? Because he was fighting at the RNC? But the frustrations of being a rank and file House member are compounded as certain individuals or groups remain marginalized within the party, getting little say. Women will never be taken seriously until leadership decides to take us seriously, and I'm no longer holding my breath. Since 2013, the Republican conference chair position has gone to a woman. It's the token slot, the designated leadership role for the top woman in the conference, while the real power lies in other offices. So Mike Johnson got women problems? Is that what you're saying? Mike Johnson got women problems. I told him about that. I told him all about that, and apparently it hasn't gotten any better. I think he should probably just withdraw himself from any interactions until he can get himself right. You know, like an all boys prep school. That's what happened to me. I was much better when I went to college for, you know, not dealing with him for 4 years. He needs a minimum of that. A minimum of that. What you were saying about women being marginalized, that's interesting. And I feel like a lot of women can get on board with that. You know, like especially like female reporters.
I have no idea. It was just an MRI. What part of the body? It wasn't the brain because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody. You too.
Getting constantly attacked or maybe occupations that women predominantly occupy, getting marginalized, or the idea of their own bodily autonomy being hanging by a thread on the whims of a man who will say things like "shut up, piggy." I feel like a lot of people can get on board with the marginalization of women, but again, you need, you know what? Why don't you, because I know Marjorie got a couple of training classes coming up. Why don't you sign up for some of her classes? Because you need her strength. You need her strength. I saw the way, you know, I seen some of the cutaways. You walking in and out. You need some of that tone and definition. And not just up here, but up here too. I'm sure Lisa McClain, the current chair of the House Republican Conference, is a wonderful cook. I'd wager she's an even better legislator, but we'll never know because that's not the box she's been assigned. You still trying to get that real stove? That ain't the way to do it. Lisa McClain can't help you. Believe me, any opposition, she gonna say that George Soros put you up to it.
In your tax dollars to fund nonsense overseas. They want to give $200 billion to illegal aliens. We are not going to do that. We're not going to do it. The American people don't want us to do it. And they're
I think she used that at home. Today, Republicans have a governing trifecta, the House, the Senate, and the White House. If we fail to pass legislation that permanently secures the border, addresses the affordability crisis, improves health care, and restores law and order, we will lose this majority and we will deserve it. Oh, you done did it. You done mentioned the A word. You ain't want to do that. Why are you so excited? I ain't talking about no alimony. You wasn't even married. No, I'm talking about affordability. Affordability. You know Trump don't want to hear nothing about no affordability.
But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. They say it and then they go into the next subject and everyone thinks, oh, they had lower prices. No.
So is it a crisis or is it not, Nancy Mace? We can do better. We can restore regular order, empower members to legislate and deliver on our promises, but that will require a fundamental shift, one that prioritizes courage over control. Let us vote, let the people see, let the chips fall. That's democracy. Prioritize courage over control, while you show the courage to at no point acknowledge the level of control that's been exerted from the White House on the current Congress. In fact, this was you, wasn't it?
I don't know that there's anything this man cannot do in this country, leading us through healthcare crisis, quality of living and quality of life, the tariffs, protecting women.
We gonna mark this up for you, Nancy Mace. I'll get it back to you with some corrections and some things. You ain't gotta wait out here. You can go ahead and. They said, what about you?
Quiet.
Well, that would be true. I understand why they would. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Well, you can wait here. But just know we gonna have to come a little bit harder next time if you really want to be a benefit and hang around. Otherwise, I can't promise you no friends or nothing. You know what I mean? And I definitely can't promise you getting the help that you need. So you can always go back home to South Carolina. I hear it's nice this time of year. I'm just playing. We both know that's a lie. And I think you banned from the airport. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I wanted to share with you something that touched me. I got this email. Hi, Mr. Waters. I'd like to know if you have to be a member in order to buy merch. You better not be, because if so, I'm snitching. You know who you are.
I want to snitch. I want to tell. Whatever they call telling, snitching, I want to do it. And I want to make it cool to do it.
I'm a 66-year-old gal on a laughably low income and want to be a member, but feel bad about only sending $1.99. How can I help the channel? Now, I want to tell you how much gratitude I have for that $1.99, but I also want to tell you it's not needed. The most important thing you can do is to show the care and concern and love that it took to compose that email. There are plenty of things you can do that help the channel, like in sharing the videos. Also, sharing doesn't have to be online. How about word of mouth? You know, they say nobody likes a gossip, but I love a gossip. Go ahead and tell everybody far and wide about the channel. And the gossip don't have to be about the channel too. I like regular gossip. You can tell me anything about anybody. I'm interested.
Stop it. Get some help.
I might even turn it into a video. Plenty of you guys have sent me suggestions for topics that have turned into troubled waters, racist of the week, street politics, you name it. It helps the channel when you buy merch. Now, see, one of the things I do is my merch spreads faster than my word of mouth. Cause when I see people, like my chest hits first. So I got a whole front porch, so my chest hit them before any of my words can hit them. So that's why I like to wear my merch. That's why I do that. Becoming a member, hugely helpful to the channel. Attending the premieres. I premiere all of my videos and attendance helps boost it in the algorithm. Hugely helpful. And of course, if you have a particular set of skills and you have time and energy and you want to help the channel, of course, I'll put out the word. We're looking for editors. We're always looking for additional mods as well as research. And one of the other ways that you can help the channel, is by subscribing. I know a lot of you guys think you're subscribed. I see the truth. I see that I can see it from here. I ain't want to say nothing. You know what I mean? I ain't want to say nothing, get in your business, but we can see that. You know, so you know what I mean? Just handle that. Then handle that on your own time.
Mind your business, that's all. Mind your business.
Of course, dropping comments is always hugely helpful, and it picks me up. I just got a comment the other day from a grandmother in Australia. And getting your emails at admin@reesewaters.com. Like this one. Hey, Reese and Miss Ray, my merch came in. I'm so excited to send the pic, and a huge thank you to everyone who's involved in making it all happen. Proud to be a member of the RW community and family. Thank you and the amazing Mod Squad for all that you do. With love and appreciation, representing Boston, Bella Fine 747. And representing it very well, might I add. I appreciate it, Bella Fine. I haven't been this happy to hear from Boston. It's probably been since the Tea Party. They've been disappointing. They've gone by the wayside since the Tea Party. But this is a step in the right direction. I can tell you that right now.